Well, some new polling on the White House, the race for the White House from some key battleground states. And Hillary Clinton is ahead in all of them. In Florida, a Suffolk University poll gives her a 4-point edge over Donald Trump. Her lead widens to double digits in Pennsylvania, with Clinton pulling ahead of Trump 48 to 35%. And she's got an even bigger advantage right now in New Hampshire with a 15-point lead in a poll there. Those are new numbers just out today, and we're keeping an eye on them because they're in key states. But there's another development in another state as a GOP congressman from Colorado becomes the first House Republican to air a political ad with an anti-Trump message. Take a listen.
People ask me, what do you think about Trump? Honestly, I don't care for him much, and I certainly don't trust Hillary. I'm a Marine. For me, country comes first. My duty is always to you.
Later in that ad, he says he's going to stand up to Trump if he becomes president and also hold Hillary Clinton accountable. Joining us now, Chris Wilson, former pollster for the Cruz campaign, and Capri Cafaro, an Ohio State Democratic senator. Nice to have you both. And we have some new numbers and some new information. Chris, what do you make of that ad from a fellow Republican about the nominee?
Well, my fear is it's the first of many. I mean, this is kind of the horror scenario we all talked about and warned about getting into this, is that Trump could lose so badly that he could take a lot of the House and Senate with him and create a Senate majority that would pass Hillary's agenda. And I think so you're going to see more Republicans start to take those sorts of actions if Trump doesn't do something to stop the bleeding and recover his campaign.
Capri, though some may say, listen, this is just after the convention. This is a bounce. Things are going to settle down after this week. Do you think these numbers are really lasting numbers?
You know, we'll see. I mean, this has been such an unprecedented campaign and election cycle that it's hard to say if past is prologue. I mean, typically speaking, convention bounces, only last for so long, but you never know. I mean, this is a perfect storm with these bounces in these battleground states, because not only is Hillary Clinton coming off of a strong performance at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, but, Donald Trump, by all accounts, has not had the best week or so at the same time, struggling with the Gold Star family arguments, having some, back and forth with Paul Ryan, for example, some questions over, the comments he had on Ukraine with George Stephanopoulos. So it's kind of a perfect storm. The question becomes, will Donald Trump kind of come back, and will something happen and Hillary Clinton stumble? So only time will tell.
And Chris, only time will tell, but we do know that Trump is still drawing those huge crowds. He likes to talk about it, but you can also see it on television. He does have that turnout. So how much stake can we really put in these numbers?
Well, it's a good question, because he was by any measure able to increase turnout in the primaries. And so from that, now it wasn't new voters. It was bringing out people who had not traditionally voted in primaries and getting them to vote, general election voters. So is he able to increase that? And I think you've got to look at a state like Pennsylvania. I mean, really that's clear, because he has to win those states because the demographics there. He won't do as well out west as many Republicans have. And so if that race is not, if it's not closer than that polling shows, he's in real trouble. And so as he travels to the Floridas and other states and gets these large crowds, it does that translate into additional turnout? And the jury's out on that.
It also raises an interesting question, Capri, whether or not Hillary Clinton is benefiting from the convention because people really believe in her, or if she's benefiting from, as you point out, some days where the Trump campaign seems to be stumbling.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, we've talked extensively about the fact that both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have very high unfavorable rates. And so, this race has really become kind of a binary choice of the lesser of two evils. And so maybe this week, Hillary Clinton is the lesser of two evils, and next week it's going to be Donald Trump. The battleground states are obviously where we need to focus our attention. In my opinion, the national polls really don't make to a hill of beans, in my opinion, because that's obviously not how presidential elections are won. So we got to take a look, and I think demographics are key in places like Pennsylvania, Ohio, and the industrial Midwest. Donald Trump does need to overperform, as just indicated, because he performs well with working class whites with lower educational attainment. In places like Nevada, which I understand Hillary Clinton is going to be in today, these are places with more diversity, with greater presence of Hispanic, Latinos, and immigrants. So they really are going to have to split the baby here, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top.
But Chris, as you point out, Trump has been running a non-traditional campaign so far. He's exceeded every expectation, every prediction from those, quote, quote, that know. And when you look at Hillary Clinton's numbers, as Capri just pointed out, both of them are don't have favorable numbers, but also in these polling numbers, she's not above by more than 50%. You know, she's still below that 50% threshold. So is there room, obviously, for Mr. Trump to make gains?
Well, there is, and there's no question about that. And I think that's the challenge I was discussing earlier. And as long as Trump keeps the focus on him rather than Hillary Clinton, it's not good for him. Because as you point out, Hillary Clinton is under 50%. She really is the functional incumbent running for a third Obama term here. And if she stays under 50%, then it creates challenges for her. But as long as Trump is keeping the focus on him by these missteps, talking about Gold Star families, kicking babies out of rallies, and talking about non-existent polling numbers, then it creates challenges for him they just can't overcome. He's got to get out of his own way and frankly get the focus back on Hillary Clinton if he expects to get things back on track.
Those babies, Capri.
Oh,
I have 2 of them at home, so they cry baby. Sometimes. I mean,
that's right. That's right.
I mean, I would feel distracted. Anyways, it's something that we're going to continue to watch. Obviously, these new poll numbers and any young children in the crowd. Capri, Chris, thank you very much. Great to see you both. That's right.